On the occasion of this 14 days faculty development program, team has given me chance to speak on this very second day. So at the outset, I would like to thanks to them. As for today's session, I'm going to discuss on alternative dispute resolution, teaching and techniques. Say by and large, it's a dispute and resolution. So we all know that dispute, disopinion are unavoidable. So far we are in society. Now the question is how to resolve these disputes, whether amicably or in the court. What I am trying to take today, that the traditional system, we all are acquainted with that. We have lot of material to teach that. But now, for series of reasons, time has come to switch on to the alternative dispute resolution system. And it's not only a great challenge for the legislature and government, but a responsibility is on our soldier also being faculty members. Because we are going to create the future ADR leaders. And what I feel, and with my own experience and with talking to my colleagues, I have experienced that although the concept of ADR is very, very easy, but it is very difficult to implement and to make the other understand. You can understand in this way. You may have also seen in your life, or you might have experienced this. Particularly sometimes if somebody is teaching, for example, English, and a student, when he sit in BLLB honors, he is not ready to take the classes of grammar. He say wonderful. This active, passive, comprehension, this and that. I am being taught from the very beginning since LKG. But Bar Council of India says to have the paper of English grammar at the graduation level. They have their own region, rational and reservations. So similarly, when we discuss, we will come to know that in ADR techniques, there are so many things which we know already. And even when we teach to the student, even when we talk about this in the society, even when we talk about this in the legal awareness camp, at different level, people overhear it. They say, okay, we know it. But to be very frankly, now, if you see the data, even in the developed country like United States of America, 97% cases are being settled outside the court. 97% cases. And there are two types of advocates. One is litigating advocate, other one is non-litigating advocates. And you will be surprised to know that there are two types of association also of the litigating advocates and non-litigating too. Non-litigating advocates are never going to the court, but they have a lot of business. I know, and you and me, we all know. It will take time to reach India up to that level. But even now, the Bar Council of India, they have started mediation as a compulsory paper for every university. Earlier, we have around 20 compulsory papers. Now, one more paper is added, that is mediation, and they themselves have framed the syllabi of that also. So now, we have to understand how to take ADR classes. I will try to discuss. Let me share my screen. So I am taking this like alternative dispute resolution techniques for teachings and learning. Now, before I start, this will be the entire synopsis which we will be dealing today. First, I will discuss my methodology. Then we will have a little discussion about adjudication. Then what is ADR? What are ADR techniques? And why ADR? Then where is ADR? And we will also discuss certain legal recognition too. ADR techniques. Few advantages. And finally, we will conclude. So my aim is not that I am going to teach you about ADR a lot, but I am going to teach you with my experience. How are we going to further teach our student? How are we going to make our classes of ADR interesting so that a student will take interest and they will take it in a sportive way. So first, the methodology. Like we teach law. So when you teach law, first question which comes and which will be tossing into the mind of the student who are facing first law class after intermediate, and then they are joining the class, so they will have a question in their mind. I will take 3 questions. This is the methodology and sample. So Suppose a student after 12, he enters to your first class and he is interested to know about the law. The first question is, what is law? So this example I am giving because we are conversant with teaching this. I am just revising. You all are doing this. Later on, I will come to know that you will substitute or convert the same teaching with the alternative dispute resolution system. So, I very simply says you don't give him or her so many definition, or even after giving so many definition and meaning, you come sometime to the conclusion. You say, my dear students, generic and comprehensive sense. Law means certain principle laid down by or authorized by the political superior for the people within its jurisdiction. And what will happen if they don't follow it? Deviation from these principles is punishable in criminal matters and redressable in the civil matter. So you, because on the very first day, if you take them to the different thinker and philosopher and so many things about it, because you know, as per as definition of law are concerned, lot of ink has been flown on that and there are treatises. So you explain them in very simple way. Then the next question comes in the mind of the student. Why law? What is the reason? What made the government to make law? What is the rationality behind law? So what you say to them? In one sentence, you will say, my dear students, by and large, law is required to regulate the conduct of the people in the society. This is what you say on the very first day. And later on, you may be explaining Dean Roscoe-Bond and so many philosopher thinkers and your own opinion about the rationality behind having law. So after you have explained that, then the another question comes. Where is law? Where is law? After what? Why? My dear friends, obviously the next question comes where? Which is not very easy to explain in one sentence. If you give where is law in one sentence, they might be confusing. So we all are faculty member. I will share how I explain to them. Where is law? I explain to them where is law. Then I say that it's not one single source. So without giving them or without taking their jurisprudential class, I say them that law is in different sources like legislation. Then I give little about the legislation to them. Then I say them, we have one more source, and that is precedent. After that, I say we have customs also. Friends, I say them, not only this, not only this, even the professional opinions, they become source of law sometime the juristic writings also becomes law. And sometimes decision of the foreign courts, that is also law. And finally, I say them, principle of justice, equity, and good conscience आपके अंतरात्मा की आवाज. It also become law, source of law. Then my student, those who have come on very first day after passing 12th, sometimes they get confused. Sir has given us a list of the sources. And if I want to search law, which source I have to see? Then I cannot take their jurisprudence class on the very first day. My way of explaining to them is, which I would like to share with, honestly, my dear faculty members are sitting before me. My way is, I will say, my dear student, you take it in this way. Suppose a matter comes to a judicial officer and judge see that there is no solution in the legislation for that matter. So he is not at the liberty to say that, sorry gentlemen, I don't have, rather our country don't have a law on this point. I will request to the Parliament of India, they will constitute a law. Then I will ask you to come to the court. He is not at the liberty. As I told you that judge is not at liberty to say them that he has no legislation. Rather, he or she will go to the second source, that is president. But if he even does not find any solution in the president also, then also he is not at a liberty to say that no. Then he will refer to the customs. So dear friend, I will tell my student that if he do not find any solution in legislation, precedent or custom, he may go for the other sources also. And that include professional opinion, juristic writing, decision of a foreign court, and finally the principle of justice, equity, and good conscience. But I will tell them these are the priority wise. A judge is not at a liberty to straightway go to the last, ignoring the legislation, precedent, custom, and everything. So this is how we explain them about the law in very, very common language. So, dear friends, in law, let it be any subject, I believe that we should focus on three things: what, why, and where. If you are able to clarify these three things, it means you are able to give justice to your subject. Now I am going to ADR. This is the modality I have tried to give. I don't know if you are convinced or not, but this is what I'm following this. Even if if I used to teach an article of the Constitution, so I will give the bare provisions, meaning thereby what it is, then I will give the rationality behind it. Why this article? What was in the mind of the framer of the Constitution to give this? If possible, I may try to hold the brief of the framer of the Constitution to justify it. I may also discuss certain analogous provisions of different country. Then I will give where it is. So until and unless we give the rationality, until and unless we convince them why this particular article or act system is existing or prevailing, friends, nobody is, present generation is not agree to accept. You just see your son and daughter and younger brother and sister. You tell them anything. The first, without second thought, answer will be why. Then reply the why. So let us make a practice. We will start with why. Now, little I will say about the adjudication. As we all know, basically there are two types of adjudication. One is the traditional system of adjudication. We have been following it since years and years. Then it can be further divided as adversarial system and inquisitorial system. I will not go much for the discussion on this system. I will say only two lines. An adversarial system is that where court act as a referee between the prosecution and defense, and the whole process is a contest between two parties. As regard crime, those two parties are state and the person accused. And in this process, court takes a non-partisan role. This is the fight between them. And the another system, which you call inquisitorial system, is a legal system where the court is actively involved in proof of fact by investigating the case. And this system revolving dispute and achieving justice for individual and society. This is the traditional system we are acquainted with, we are practicing, we are teaching. All right. Let us see the other system. This is what is alternative dispute resolution system, which is popularly known as ADR. Here also we have two types. One is the adjudicatory and the other one is the non-adjudicatory. See, in adjudicatory, let us see, we can have arbitration, experts resolution. But in non-adjudicatory, we have series of techniques: mediation, conciliation, negotiation, and so on. We will be discussing now. So my lecture will be much focused on the non-adjudicatory side. Rather, as a journal I will be taking to convince you friends. But I believe personally, now this arbitration is also stepping into the shoes of litigation. I can experience, I have seen ICADR is almost closed and arbitration has become or becoming gradually and slowly very costly affair. And only the big setup, बड़े घराने जिनको बोलते हैं, they can afford properly the arbitration. I have no hesitation to say that the judges who could not earn throughout their life, few arbitration pay that amount of money to them for that. So time may comes then we have to think a lot about arbitration also. But I'm not going here for that. Let us focus upon our same question, what? So if you ask me what is alternative dispute resolution system, there are a series of definition, meaning, etc. for that. But very gist I would like to give to you, which contains almost all the aspect of this. First of all, it is popularly known as ADR now. This process is to settle the dispute. First thing, first ingredient common. The object is to settle the dispute. But which dispute? Which are capable of being settled under the law between the parties without a conventional court trial. It means every dispute cannot be settled through the process of ADR. There are few disputes which can be settled. We'll discuss that also. And another requirement is without a conventional court trial. आम आदमी क्या समझता है? What the man of common parlance understand? It is understood as out of court settlement. न्याय कोर्ट के बाहर. In common parlance language, what are you doing? Settlement outside the court. And third person of the choice of the party or to the dispute is doing this in informal manner. And the object is to speedy and inexpensive settlement of a dispute without the procedural delay and formalities involved in the court litigation. We all know that. It is an alternative to the traditional process of dispute resolution through courts and all set of practices and techniques of non-judicial means to resolve dispute outside the court are covered in the concept of ADR. In very nutshell, I would like to share with you. If you, whether it is a traditional system or ADR or different ADR techniques, if you put together in one very big bag and you take out the system which is done with the involvement of court, the remaining will be ADR. What I want to convey, I want to convey to you that we cannot give any exhaustive list. We cannot provide you any exhaustive list of the ADR. But however, I have made for your reference that the ADR techniques can be divided into two categories. If you talk about the adjudicatory, definitely I will say the arbitration. And on the basis of jurisdiction, you can further divide it whether domestic arbitration, international commercial arbitration, or so on. And as you see the procedure and rules, it may be institutional arbitration, it may be ad hoc arbitration, or it may be fast track arbitration. So this is one side. And as I told you that the arbitration is also become semi litigation. The popular sentence we always use that it is stepping into the shoes of litigation. Now other side, the non-adjudicatory, upon which we have to focus much. Normally, we count three basic non-adjudicatory techniques. That is mediation, negotiation, and conciliation. But when you start teaching this subject to your students, you will come to know any technique, any informal way, in any informal method, which is capable to resolve the dispute amicably between the parties, that becomes ADR techniques. Mediation, arbitration, mini trial, neutral listener agreement, Medalova, mediation, arbitration, last option, river rental judge, Michigan mediation, final over arbitration, fast finding, so on. I have given you just my opinion. The list is not exhaustive. Tomorrow when you start teaching it, tomorrow you can also use a technique. Because no legislation is required to form it. Although we have the mediation rules framed in 2003, but other techniques, with the rapid changes taking place in the thinking, lifestyle, philosophy of the people globally, new techniques to resolve dispute outside the court are being evolved. Each of these processes embodies to various extent elements that enable dispute to more efficiently and more amicably resolve their own techniques. So here when we teach to the student, we should not just confine them to the three techniques: mediation, negotiation, or caution. See, you will be surprised one day if you give that these are the ADR techniques. Your student may say, who has come after the thorough research, sir, I have seen this one more technique. So there is no fixed list. Now, the question is, why ADR? See, dear friends, I have given you my methodology. In the beginning step, how we teach them law on the very first day. That was a very good slide prepared by me. I will share with you people, so you can enjoy that in that way also. So what we have done, I am focusing on three things. My advice to the law teacher for three things. What we have completed, then I am coming on why. Now, when we teach them why, so normally what we do, we just start counting the importance of alternative dispute resolution, or sometimes we will give them a list of the advantages over the litigation. That is the traditional practice. So वो तो करना ही है, that we will give them, but before that we have to give them something else. See, I have tried to collect, and let us see what Mahatma Gandhi ji say about that. He was a lawyer, he is Rashtrapita, he is father of the nation, and this quotation you will find written everywhere, whether you go to ICADR or anywhere, even the foreign agency are using this. He say, I realized that the true function of a lawyer was to unite party. A large part of my time during the 20 year of my practice as a lawyer was occupied in bringing about private compromises of hundreds of cases. And the last line, I lost nothing thereby, not even money, certainly not my soul. When I discuss this quotation with my students, they say, sir, everybody is not Mahatma Gandhi ji. They don't need this coat, pant, suit, car, everything. They तो वो तो एक लंगोटी में ही रह सकते हैं, एक डंडा और एक लंगोटी चाहिए उन्हें. But as I discuss with you in the beginning of my lecture, even this quotation is today also it is practical, and it becomes more contemporary today's concept. When I say you, in the country like America, 97% cases are being settled outside the court. Outside the court. Maximum lawyers are non-litigating lawyers. What they are doing? What they are doing? They are doing the same thing. They are earning sometimes much more than some of the lawyers who are practicing in court. So this way you tell them, this way you have to make them understand, your students. And he has quoted one, differences we shall always have, but we must settle them all, whether religious or other, by arbitration. So, dear friends, both the quotations answer why ADR. Then I would like to share with you very interestingly, the first president of United States of America. Just see his last will, which he was made on 9th July 1799. It is available on net. Please go through that will and you will understand why ADR. Just imagine, in 1799 he visualized the concept of alternative dispute resolution. Listen what he writes. This is the point to be listened and to practice and to make our student understand why ADR. He says, I hope and trust that no dispute will arise concerning them. But if, contrary to the expectation of the usual technical terms, or because too much or too little has been said on any of the devices to be concerned with law, my will and direction expressly is that all the dispute, if unhappily any should arise, shall be decided by three important and intelligent men, known for their probity, understanding, two to be chosen by the disputant, each having a choice of one, and third by those who which three men thus chosen shall, unfettered by law or legal constructions, declare their sense of the testator intention, and such decision is to all intents and purposes to be as binding. See the last line. You yourself will understand and you will make your student understand why ADR. If it had been given in the Supreme Court of United States, first of all, your document should be so accurate that there should not be any mistake or there should be little chance of interpretation. But if at all there is need of interpretation, then by the two parties chosen by them and third by them, and their advice or their decision as if it is given by the Supreme Court of United States of India. So nothing can be said more than this about that. See further. Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of United States of America, on 1861 to 1865, we all know he was assassinated at that point of time. So see his advice to the people of his country to adopt ADR techniques so as to settle their dispute amicably. This quotation also, like the quotation given by our Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi ji, you will find written everywhere. Discharge litigation, persuade your neighbors to compromise wherever you can. Point out to them how the nominal winner is often a real loser. किस चीज में? In fees, expenses, and wastage of time. As a peacemaker, the lawyer has a superior opportunity of being a good man, and there will be business enough. See how nicely he has advised to the Americans, being a president, about the importance of your ADR. Now, the another person, most respected President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The concept of mediation and conciliation is definitely a faster method of dispute resolution compared to conventional court process. And this quotation I have kept purposefully, I will let you know now. Only thing is that, इस पे ध्यान दीजिए, only thing is that we have to have trained mediators who can see the problem objectively, without bias, and facilitate affected parties to come to an agreed solution. In my opinion, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, this system of dispute resolution is definitely a cost-effective system for the needy. So, all these gentlemen, they have just explained you the importance of ADR and the answer. Why ADR? I told you earlier also that, my dear friends, what we are going to do, we will explain that also. Advantages of ADR and advantages of ADR over litigation. But other than that, if you just explain your student with the help of this quotation, I hope this will be more convincing. So, legislative and judiciary of India. देखिएगा, Law Minister of India, the Prime Minister, Law Minister of India, Chief Justice of India, and Chief Justice of High Court, Chief Minister, and also the Minister of the State have strongly recommended for alternative dispute resolution on 4th December 1993. Friends, this day of 4th December 1993 was very, very important day. Very, very important day, when all these dignitaries, they sit together, meeting was conducted. You can know a lot about that meeting. And they concluded that courts were not in position to bear the entire burden of the justice system, and that a number of disputes lend themselves to resolution by alternative modes such as arbitration, mediation, negotiation. They emphasized the desirability of dispute taking advantage of alternative dispute resolution, which provided procedural flexibility, saved valuable time and money, avoided the stress of the conventional trial. Now what else we want? Now what else we want? Right from the 1799, two president of the country like President of India, our own Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi, our own President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Prime Minister, all the Law Minister, Chief Justice, all the Chief Justice of all High Court, Law Minister, they all have recommended. So where remain the question unanswered? Why ADR? Where remain the question unanswered? Why ADR? One more thing, which all we who are in common law countries, we are in habit to quote the judgments. So let us see that thing also we will complete. You can see or refer Messer Guru Nanak Foundation versus Messer Ratan Singh and Sons, 1981. This quotation also, every researcher, every research paper, whenever it is written, you will find this quotation. Interminal, time consuming, complex, expensive. Court procedure impelled juries to search for alternative forum, less formal, more effective, speedy for resolution of dispute. Now, we all can see that when we teach to our student, so with this, only these 3 lines, we can list out the importance of alternative dispute resolution over the traditional system. We can see the rationality also behind that. So this is what I wanted to convey you about the why ADR. Now the question is very big question, and you have to handle it very technically with your students, and that is, where is ADR? Where is ADR? Here I am taking to you to little historical backgrounds, but in Indian perspective. When I say Indian perspective, and why I have chosen Indian perspective, there is a reason behind that. There is a reason behind that. And this will answer you the question, how to explain very common things to a student about which he knows something, about which he has been listening from the childhood, of which he is not ready to listen. So how to make such things to understand our student? I was in one seminar. I was asked this question long back when ADR techniques were not so popular. The question was asked that how can you make these techniques, that the seminar was going on about the awareness of ADR amongst the masses. So the specific question was, if you go in a village and you start talking about the arbitration, conciliation, mediation, plea bargaining, section 320 of CRPC, and like that, and all the techniques of ADR which I have counted. They asked me, Professor Saab, how these village people will understand? All right. And they also pointed out me that you say that in developed country they are practicing ADR techniques. And at that point in my speech, I told them that the ADR practice was basically developed in this country. The basic concept was developed in this country. Then they mixed this thing. Then I replied that I would like to share, I have all the right to share with my faculty member friends. What happened then? I say that you tell to the villagers, these all techniques are like you grow potato in your field. आप अपने खेतों में आलू पैदा करते हैं, खूब आलू पैदा करते हैं, हाँ साफ करते हैं। आलू आप क्या रेट से बेचते हैं? They will say maximum 10 rupees kg or sometime 5 rupees kg at the time when these crops comes in the market. All right. But your son who is studying in Chandigarh, are you aware at what rate he purchased that aloo? He purchased that aloo sometime at 200 rupees per kg or sometime more than that, because the potatoes purchased from you, acquired by a multinational company, they made a chips. They have made kept in a good wrapper with the brand, placed in the mall. You goes there, you say, give me that 100-gram chips. You purchase sometime 50 rupees. So at what rate you have purchased your aloo? 500 rupees. Again, I am coming on the point. These techniques which now the entire world is claiming, they are the same potatoes which you have forgotten, which your forefather had practiced. How? In the form of Panch Panchayat and Panch Parmeshwar. Just go and see the Dharma Shastra ka Itihas. Just go and see the modality of ancient India. You will come to know. The setup was like Kul, Sreni, Pug, Pradvika and King. These were starting of the Panchayat, and almost all the dispute were resolved at Panchayat levels only. Of course, this Kul, Sreni, Pug, Pradvika and King, this is the, sometimes you can say it's the Vedic period or long back. But the memory of the man runs up to that through the books and treatises. What? A panchayat system, even we are following today, but we have been following it since long. Since long. What is the difference? I will discuss, if time permit, at the last. For that also, what we have lost. Why the decision of the panchayat and aldermen of your village are losing its gravity? I will discuss it at last. But before that, the arbitration was even in 1772. It was provided in Bengal Regulation. Then 1780, 81, 87, 90, 93. Then you can see 312 to 320 in chapter 6 of the 6 of First Code of Civil Procedure 1859. Indian Arbitration Act, Schedule to the Code of Civil Procedure 1908, Arbitration Act 40, Arbitration Conciliation Act 1996, Amendment 205, so on. These provisions are there. But we have to apply our mind. Why we are losing it day by day, and why the developed country are adopting it more and more and more. I will come to this point also. First, I want to see you one more ancient literature. This is sixth form of conciliation. We all know कौटिल्य's अर्थशास्त्र, चाणक्य भी कहते हैं उनको. I do not know whether people are following or not, but I have come to know that there are some politicians in this country now. They are placing his photos in their office, but I'm sure that they must be following this also. See the way of conciliation, techniques. How many years before? I think 321 or something. How many years before he has given you the modality of conciliation? आज आप ढूंढ रहे हैं, गूगल पे ढूंढ रहे हैं कि व्हाट आर द टेक्निक ऑफ मीडिएशन, कैसे एमिकबली होगा, रिजोल्यूशन होगा. सी ओनली 6 पॉइंट. What a best mediator can do. I am telling you, just develop it. When I was taking 40 hours course at Delhi ICADR, Justice IP Vasis was leader, and all those who have taken training from United Kingdom about the mediation, they wanted to train certain mediator in India. My dear friends, believe me, I was laughing from. मुझे डर था, I was feeling guilt. These techniques are on record in the Kautilya's Arthashastra and giving them new shape. Somebody else was teaching. I thought how poor I am in education, that my own potatoes somebody is purchasing from me at 10 rupees kg and returning me at 500 rupees kg. These 6 techniques. First technique, praising the merits of someone who is or likely to be inimical. अरे कभी कभी दुश्मन को की भी प्रशंसा करनी पड़ती है. You need to read the pulse of the people, appreciating the merit of the person's pedigree, उसकी पर्सनल क्वालिटीज, ऑक्यूपेशन, गुड नेचर, बियरिंग हेल्प इधर पर्सनली और टू थर्ड पार्टीज. कितना भी बुरा आदमी हो, जिसके साथ उसका डिसओपिनियन है, अगर उसके कानों में पड़ जाए, कह रहा वो तो आपकी बहुत तारीफ कर रहे थे. अरे वो मेरी तारीफ कैसे कर सकता है, वो तो मेरा दुश्मन है. कह रहे नहीं 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 नहीं, वो कह रहे थे कि हाँ, वी हैव डिसओपिनियन, बट आई रिस्पेक्ट हिम अ लॉट बिकॉज ही इज अ मैन ऑफ प्रिंसिपल. He follow ethics in his occupation. He is of good nature. आप देखिए, पहला हथियार which we were using informally, खत्म, वही resolution. Then mutual connections, extol them. Common relationship, blood relationship by marriage, कॉमन टीचर. आप कहिए तो सही, अरे यार, हम तो एक ही खानदान के हैं भाई, लड़ाई किस बात की? या तुम दोनों तो, मीडिएटर कहता है तुम दोनों तो एक ही खानदान के हो, लड़ाई किस बात की? अरे तुम तो एक ही गुरु के शिष्य हो, यू आर एलुमनाई। अर्थ देखो, अंतर देखो। आप एक ही गुरु के शिष्य हो, ज्यादा कन्विंसिंग लगा, या यू आर एलुमनाई? देन वी आर कॉमन फ्रेंड, and you can say sometime, you just see our family connections. You can count some certain examples also. Then of course, if you go to take the 40 hours training of mediator, they will give this mutual benefit. They will say, show a mirror to the disputant, explaining them the advantage that will acquire each of the two parties, अपनी साइड और दूसरी साइड। अगर ऐसा करोगे तो क्या फायदे होंगे, यही तो कहोगे। यू विल से दैट इफ यू एग्री टुडे you will get 1 crore. If you don't agree, go to the court. Sometime after 5 years also you will get 1 crore or little more. Then inducement, raising the hope, एक उम्मीद जगा दो उसमें, by pointing out the beneficial result that will accrue to both if a particular course of action is adopted. Then identify of interest. देखो, if you are a good mediator और आपने समझौता कराना है, you must identify the interest and common interest of both. उस पे पहले बात कीजिए, right? Then awards and honor, giving the high rank or warding an honor is also the method of counseling potential internal enemy. कभी कभी दुश्मन की भी प्रशंसा करनी पड़ती है, उनको भी अवार्ड देना पड़ता है. So this is what you have been given long back. अच्छा, he has given 2 suggestions also. Only 2 slokas. 2 suggestions how practical it is even today. He says, in order to make discontented happy, जो विरोधी है उसे खुश करने के लिए conciliation method shall be used. If conciliation fails, see, on certain occasion, this both the party will say to mediator, all right, you are talking the right things, but I don't agree to this. So at that point of time, when Kautilya coined this, that time something was in the control of the king. So what he advised? In fact, they were the advisor to the king, as we know. They shall be used to collect taxes and fines so that they may incur the wrath of the public. जो बहुत अकड़ू है ना, जो अड़ू है, जो discontented हैं, and those who have habit of being discontent every time, place them to collect taxes and fines. लोग खुद सीधा कर देंगे उनको. See the vision of this person? Because you are running till you have not seen the dig. But when you come across, when you face the public, when you face the public opinion, criticism of the people, then you come down. Then Contented shall be appreciated by giving them additional honor and wealth. And if they agree to, then they can be given additional benefits and honor and respect because they are agreeing to. Then see the legal recognition. Legal recognition in India about the ADR techniques. My dear friends, I'm not going deep into that, but if you see the Industrial Dispute Act, Section 4, I think this was the first act after independence, provided for the appointment of conciliating officer. The Legal Services Authority Act 1987. Of course, the Arbitration Conciliation Act 1996. Civil Procedure Code, particularly Section 89. Hindu Marriage Act, Contract Act, Police Act, CRPC 1973 plea bargaining, Family Code, Consumer Protection Act, and of course the ADR and Mediation Rules 2003. These are the few legal recognition to the ADR. I am not going to deep on that, but I will say you, when you teach importance or ADR recognition, then you must take Section 89 of CPC in very detail. So after the legal recognition, these advantages, these are the common advantages, and I don't want to give more focus on that. They are academically, and you can find out from books and other things also. So, but we have to discuss certain limitations. Certain limitations are to be discussed. Because you know, when we teach ADR and when we take ADR as alternative dispute resolution system, dear friend, this alternative word need to be interpreted. See how you can make your student understand that you take it in the sense if somebody fell ill, so he has the option. Either he can go to the doctor of homeopathy or allopathy or sometime Ayurvedic. He has three options, and all the three, they have its pros and cons also. Meaning thereby, who will do operation, who will do yogic kriya. So we need to frame a case planning strategy. आप काम कीजिए उस पे, एक अपने से एक, you may be teaching CRPC, CPC, any subject. Prepare for your student a case planning strategy. That will be a very fruitful contribution from your end. What is the case planning strategy? Now you as a teacher, as a faculty, you know the limitation, advantages of the traditional system as well as ADR system. And you also know which cases are to go to the ADR and which cases must go to the traditional system. Then why not to make a case planning strategy? This is the case. All right, forget everything, no second mind. Just go to the mediator. If this is the case, all right, no second thought. It will go to the court. So these limitations are important. It is not successful where decision in the case require creating a precedent. If you need a decision which will create a precedent for the forthcoming cases, or which has to overrule a precedent already established, then this is not applicable. In correcting injustice, discrimination or violation of human rights, ADR may work or may not work well as per the present expectation. ADR programs do not work well in the context of extreme power imbalance between the parties. So when we go for negotiation, do you think a labor class person can he has bargain with the industrialist? So the bargaining power, it's imbalance, and the ADR settlement do not have any educational, punitive or deterrent effect on the society. Up here, what is to be analyzed with this limitation? This is only one sentence. This is only one sentence. Just think jurisprudentially. The rationality behind the punishment. Why punishment? How to justify the punishment? So, this ADR settlement, are they leaving deterrent effect on the society or not? Sometime not, but sometime much more. That also I will discuss if time permits. Not appropriate to resolve multi-party dispute in which some of the parties do not participate. This problem will definitely be faced because this summoning and all so forceful police and formalities are not there. ADR may undermine other judicial reform efforts. Unfamiliarity to the people. Unequal bargaining power I have already discussed. Then a very creative dispute resolution require cooperation, and non-litigated dispute resolution may not discourage future clients. Normally it happens. If one person commits a crime or do some forgery or something, and he not punished, and by folding a hand or something he has been left, then he is likely to commit this in future. Now all this, I would like to discuss with you with two slides. I will discuss about the traditional system and also about the ADR. Because I told you I am not going to give you the list of advantages of ADR over the litigation that you can collect yourself. See, this is the condition of litigant in our country. This is the condition of litigants in our country. You just compare it with the sheep. Heavy rain, heavy storm, and the poor sheep. run for shelter to bush to save itself from rain and hail, and found itself deprived of its fleece when it come out. This is exactly the condition of litigants. This is exactly the condition of litigants. ये भेड़ बेचारी जिसके पास ऊन का खजाना था, बारिश से बचने के लिए झाड़ियों में घुस गई। उसने शेल्टर ले ली, यहां पानी से बचूंगी, लेकिन जब बाहर आई तो झाड़ियों ने उसकी सारी ऊन वहीं छीन ली। अब तो वो lost its place when it come out. Same thing is the litigant. If you can see in my slides, the litigants run to the court for their claims, and when they come out after so many years, very up-to-date persons with grown hairs, perfectly with suitcase, files, currency, everything enter the court. And after some year, loss is hair, lost his money. This is generally it happened. So taking such type of examples, you can convince your students what is the importance of the litigation. Now, I told you one thing that which I will discuss at the last, and that is why our panchayat system, why the system of Panch and Parmeshwar, it is almost failed. Why people are not ready to accept it? Why the advocates say, why the clients say, if any advocate advise for the compromise, that he is the cloud, he is the dalal. These are the big questions upon which we faculty members and those who are interested in ADR have to toss their mind. A lot of brainstorming is required for that. One reason which I could find out, that whenever any settlement is done at the panchayat level, whenever any settlement is done at panchayat level or by a elderman, it has got 3 steps. The first step, one party comes to the panchayat. Second step, the panch call a meeting. Third step, Panch, because of his knowledge, wisdom and dignity, or his position, his honesty, his image in the society, all joined together. Because of these, he is in 90% cases able to resolve the dispute. Then comes the third phase. Third phase is the writing down of that settlement agreement. Of course, the fourth phase is to submit it before the court, so that the litigation which is going on will end. We are successful in India in first phase, meaning thereby whenever any problem arises, the first thing which come into the mind of particularly the villagers, that okay, this problem has occurred, we will go to so and so person, and he will resolve our problem. On this, there is no doubt we are successful. But there, younger person from that same home says, what will happen? Panch Sahab or Pradhan ji, they will resolve, they will make him understand, they will console him, they will do the counseling of the other party, and after 10 days again he will start the same thing. So they are confused. Because in last case, when they approached to the Pradhanji, who has resolved the dispute, that dispute was going on in the court, but that could not be ended. Because of the entry of some gentleman with black coat, they said, ki no, you will get much more if you go for litigation. So we are successful in first phase, sometimes second phase, but the third phase where you have to write down the settlement agreement, that we won't do properly. Either we avoid it. I have organized in Law College Dehradun, I have organized so many camps, and we have been organizing regularly mega legal awareness camp. Our legal aid center of Law College Dehradun, we continuously ask to the farmer and this panchayat representative, what is the problem? And they say that they know everything, but they don't write it. They are just satisfied, okay, ab se nahi karunga, that's all. So we have to create an ADR brigade which is capable of writing immediately. Rather, we can create some performance forms. We can take it as a project so as to come up with the modality that need not to apply much of the mind, and whoever is literate person, he or she can do himself, and he can help them in the village itself. So this was the one of things. And another, a big limitation is before us, and that limitation is when in the civil matters we have arbitration, conciliation, mediation, negotiation, and so many techniques. But we have little in the criminal side. Like we have introduced the concept of plea bargaining. But plea bargaining is yet to be adapted by us. We are not making use of the plea bargaining in the way the Americans or other countries are making use. We have reservation in that. All right, when we introduce this plea bargaining, concept of plea bargaining, at that point of time, it was all right. But not necessarily now. And we do not have much of the awareness about that. Sometimes we as an advocate do not want to practice plea bargaining for the reason better known to them. Here, we can train our students. We can take it as a project. If they, after becoming advocate, I'm sure, and I have case study also for that. If they go to the court, if they go to the visit jail, as an advocate and try to talk about the plea bargaining, take up the sum of the matter with their own initiative, there will be lot of business. There will be lot of business. This is one thing. Now, my concluding remarks about the litigation. You believe it or not, this is the win-lose strategy. जीतूंगा या हारूंगा. And it's the ego. In most of the cases, particularly in the criminal matter and even the revenue matters, land disputes, I will see you in court. In court. At one point of time, this litigation becomes.
इसे 2 स्लाइड्स हो रहा है, क्या बोलना?
Slides not visible. It becomes matter of ego. It becomes matter of ego. And this is what is exactly. In one, this picture is my concluding remarks. I have written few lines as a concluding remarks in Indian perspective. My dear friends, we are standing at a juncture. We are standing at a juncture where on one hand we have traditional system I have just discussed. That is litigation, which is not able to comply with the need of the day. Why? Being interminable, time consuming, complex, expensive. Taken from the leading case I have discussed. Whereas on the other hand, we have alternative dispute resolution system for which needed legislation has already been enacted. I have already discussed you the list of the legislation. By this time we have discussed to our student Section 89 of CPC, provisions of plea bargaining, Section 320 of the CRPC, arbitration and conciliation, ADR practice, mediation, negotiation, etc., etc. And of course, ADR and mediation rules 2003. So, we have alternative dispute resolution system for which needed legislation has already been enacted. At present, our country has two challenges. First, to create awareness about ADR techniques, and secondly, to change the mindset of the people so as to implement this system in India in letter and spirit. These are two major changes. These are two major challenges before us. And we as a faculty members, we as a responsible person for creating future ADR brigade, we have to start it from this point. Right from the point when a student comes to us after intermediate. So this was all about I wanted to discuss. There are lot many things more, We can sometime discuss in part by part if time permits and occasion arises. And this was all by me. And thank you. Thank you so much.
I take this opportunity to kind of run back the session which was delivered today by Professor Dr. Rajesh Bhargava sir. It was indeed an enthralling and engaging talk by sir on alternate dispute resolution mechanisms and the techniques of teaching to the new age students. So Dr. Bhargava sir is an expert himself in the field of alternate dispute resolution and has, in fact, many figures to his cap. And before I summarize his talk for today, I'd like to share a few words about Sir. Sir is currently the Vice Chancellor of Uttarakhand University, and he has an illustrious career of over 37 years, with about 15 years in the armed forces. He was in the Indian Air Force for about 15 years before he moved to being a legal researcher and an academician. And he is, as I said, currently the Vice Chancellor of Uttarakhand University, and we at Law College Dehradun are indeed very privileged because he happens to be our dean and our mentor, and the force behind this 14-day National Faculty Development Program. Sir has been an expert in the field of alternative dispute resolution. As he said, he is also like member with the ICADR, the National Council for Alternate Dispute Resolution in Delhi, and many other organizations such as ICADR. And Sir also has more than 20 publications to his name, and he's been a guide for more than 10 doctoral research scholars, including me as of now, and he has organized over 180 seminars in the span as the Dean of Law College Dehradun, and he has organized innumerable moot court competitions and Model United Nations eminence and other such events, besides workshops, and LCD happens to be one of the distinctive colleges in the Northern India, which has actually seen the Supreme Court judges, including legal luminaries, who could interact with the students of Law College Dehradun, which wouldn't have been possible but for Professor Bhargava sir's let's say, unconditional support and futuristic thinking for his students, a very extremely student-centric teacher he is. So today, Dr. Bhargava was with us to talk on ADR for teaching and learning, and he started off this talk on trying to explain to us that there are two kinds of dealing with legal issues. One is through litigating and the other is through non-litigating. And so we also have advocates who are in the practice of advocacy dealing with both litigation and non-litigation. Mediation, we saw, is actually one of the non-litigating advocacy procedure, and Sir also mentioned to us that it has been made a compulsory paper by the Bar Council of India, and then therefore that all the more reason why we as legal academia are supposed to understand how to go about the teaching of alternate dispute resolution mechanisms, including of course ODR, that's online dispute resolution. So Sir spoke on the methodology and the adjudication at large in his talk today, and he explained to us how we actually need to understand the rationality behind alternate dispute resolution mechanism, and of course apply the jurisprudential principles to get there. We discussed also about the adversarial and inquisitorial systems of litigation. Then he said, touched upon all the various ADR methods, conciliation, negotiation, mediation, including the arbitration, of course, which is really more on litigation in the present context. And of course, we discussed about how ADR is different from out-of-court settlement and how is it similar to out-of-court settlement. We discussed the various kinds of mediation, and then and then the convention that we have on court practices, and then why we fail in India, it's more because we need to have more training for the mediators. Then, so when trying to explain to a large extent, let's say, comparative alternate dispute resolution and the genesis of this particular mechanism of alternate dispute resolution, when we went back to explain what the late President of United States, Abraham Lincoln, had to say, what Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi had to say, or our own President, late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, had to say about the procedure which has to focus on the deliverance of justice. It doesn't really matter whether we're going ahead with the integration through a code of law or through an alternative dispute resolution mechanism, but then resolution of a situation in whichever mechanism is very important, because justice deliverance happens to be the key. And he went on to discuss how the concept of settlement out of court moved on to negotiations, mediations, conciliation, and finally moved to the arbitral era. Now, of course, all of us keep talking about the advantages of ADR over litigation in the court, and so added to it with his own personal experiential learning, which is focusing on, where is ADR? So we discussed at length on the technical issue, which probably would be the first question that most of us teachers who are involved in teaching of ADR face. That is on where is ADR? Where exactly does it exist? And then to emphasize and to substantiate where ADR exists. So when going to discuss about ancient literature, including the slokas on conciliation, which you can find in Kautilya's Arthashastra, and then he compared the provisions of Section 89 of the CPC with the Alternate Dispute Resolution Act, and of course, so prior to concluding, the talk discussed about the limitations of alternate dispute resolution in India and also the concept of plea bargaining. So this is in a nutshell what we have learned from today's talk by Professor Dr. Rajesh Babu sir, esteemed Vice Chancellor of Uttarakhand University and Dean Law College, Dehradun. As I said, if you have any more questions to pose, you're free to send it to our email or even directly to sir, as he's offered to explain or to attend to your questions. So with this, we come to an end of the second day of the 14th National Faculty Development Program being organized by Law College of Uttarakhand University. And we wish to see you again in full attendance tomorrow, same time at 1:30 for the next speaker. And with this, I'd like you to please fill in the feedback forms that have been posted by Dr. Ijaz on the WhatsApp group. Any queries, feel free to kind of send them across here. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Thank you so much, sir.